My name is Olusegun Olarewaju Adebayo. This afternoon, we'll be discussing how youth should spend their spare time, what we call leisure time. When we were younger, we had little or no leisure time. When we are not in school, we are with our parents on the farm, for those of them who are farming. For those who are not farming, who are traders, children were with their parents in their trading places, either shop or hawking for them. And sometimes in the modern world, we feel that is punishment for young people. When I was young, I used to follow my father to the farm, and I enjoy seeing crops grow and harvesting it. I also saw it as an obligation to help in contributing my quota in feeding the family. Why should my father be on the farm throughout the day and I staying at home pretending to be reading when schools are not on, and for him to bring that the food for us to eat it together? Most likely I will take the lion part of it, or take more than him. Morally, that is not right. So when I wasn't there with my father on the farm, I was with my mother helping her to sell her wares. I have said it in some of my books that I caught my marketing teeth from hawking for my mom, and I enjoyed every aspect of it. It made me to be close to both of them and to appreciate the beauty and the burden of parenthood. I saw the pains were necessary, and I saw how hard it was for them to think through how they were going to feed their large family. And I knew that every parent made a lot of effort to take care of their children, even when these efforts are not enough or never recognized by the children. Sometimes the children complain too much of not getting enough from their parents. But what some parents do for their children, they didn't get it from their own parents. And I know in the modern world, many parents want their children to be better than them. Sometimes we saw that Western education can fast track economic development in the family. So you see parents aspiring to make sure that they give their children Western education, which is very good. At that, a lot of parents forgot to give their children home education. You need the home training and the Western education. And when you have good home training, you also find out that you are able to apply your Western education properly. I will repeat myself because I've said it before. I've seen very brilliant children who end up having bad interpersonal relationship in their workplace. With their relating with their friends is horrible, and also even dealing with personal issues is horrible, because they have been pampered to believe that every problem they have can be solved by their parents. You see some children going into the university and were given assignments that their parents knew nothing about. And when they get to the point of confusion, the next thing is to call their parents, who didn't have any knowledge of that industry, to say, "Father or mother, I have an assignment, I cannot solve the problem." And the parents are panicking. They have labored to give them money. They have labored to send them to school, and they are now laboring to solve problems they don't have any clue about. And wrongly, sometimes the parents overstress themselves and even want to follow those children to school in terms of getting a shortcut for them to pass such courses. That is wrong. We will address that on another platform or in another day. But even getting those children to do what is needful in the house is very difficult for those parents. Sometimes these parents tell us that they don't want their children to suffer. What is suffering? The world is not a leisure for anybody. Even when you are rich, you still have to work. When you don't work, you have to go to the gym to reduce your weight. So I go to homes and I discover that some children don't even know how to wash dishes in their house. They finish eating and they leave the dish in the sitting room or dining table where they ate. The same mother who had labored to make sure that the food was prepared is the same mother who is laboring to wash the dishes. Is the same mother who is laboring to make them wash their clothes, including their boxers and underwears. Or either the mother is washing it for them or is looking for somebody to help them wash it. They have used the time they will use in training their children to train their housemaid. And most housemaids end up being more successful than their children. And when you ask some parents, they tell you that their children are lazy. It's not an achievement to tell us that your children are lazy. They don't want to do anything, all these modern children. What is modernity in being lazy? You buy an Android phone for a 10-year-old child because they said they are doing e-learning. And there is no limit to how long the child can stay on the phone. You are feeding your children to a best level. There is no limit to what you ask them not to eat because you think you are training them. That is not training. The children cannot clean the house when they wake up. The places they mess up themselves. You are struggling to clean the house and you think you are training them. You are not helping them. The father is sitting down, running around to make sure he gets things done. And these children cannot help him wash his car. You are not training them. You are spoiling them. When my children were growing up in the house and I had a driver who takes me from the house and takes me back home, my children knew that it is their responsibility to arrange my folders, my laptop, and everything they know I used to take out before the driver will arrive. And once the driver parked the car in the premises of the house, they are the one who will go and empty the car. In the first instance, once the horn is hooked, they are the one who will open the gate for the driver. And I've warned my staff, you have to leave these things for the children to do. I've been publishing books and magazines over the years. And when they're on vacation, since when they started going to school, they will follow me out to go and sell these magazines for me in workshops and seminars and on the street, if need be. One day somebody remarked, they said that is child abuse. I said, child abuse when I'm struggling to sell magazines and newspaper on the street to take the money home. They have to know how I was making such money so that they will learn how to begin to learn how to make money. I can afford the luxury of keeping them in the house and give them all what they wanted. Well, I wasn't a rich man, still not, and I'm not the richest man around. So why should I pretend to them that I'm not struggling to make money? Don't you think you will be there always to give them all what they wanted or want? At some point you won't have the ability to do that, and you have not made them strong enough. And that is why you discover that when some of these children go to marry, they begin to have problems with their spouses. They cannot afford the service of a dry cleaner, they cannot wash the clothes themselves. They don't even know how to make money than to apply for office job. And once they don't get office job, they think it's a punishment for them. People who make a lot of money don't do glamorous work. And if you let them know that to make money, they have to be creative. Who says they cannot be dry cleaners since they have learned that from youth? Who says they cannot be washing dishes since they have learned that from youth? You are not allowing them to lay their bed when they wake up in the morning, and you tell them they will sleep on it like that. No, they have to lay it up. If they want to sleep on their bed rump, they must lay it up. If they want to put their sandal or shoes in the balcony, you must tell them that's not the place to put it. In my home, when I finish eating and there's nobody around, I pack my dish and take it to the kitchen and wash. I've done that as many times as I should do it. So if I do that at all stages of my life, I challenge any child who will not do that for himself, if not for me. So when children are on vacation, again, you over pamper them. Not just asking them to go and be watching films and television and playing with iPhone and Android phone and going to amusement park because they are on vacation. Learning is a lifetime opportunity. So you're not getting them engaged creatively in another way than just extreme leisure. Taking them out, spending money you don't have, borrowing money you don't have. And you discover that on the long run, some of these children don't give a hoot about what happens to you, even in your old age, because you are used to pampering them. You want to marry for them, you want to build house for them, you want to get job for them, you want to go and fight for them, you want to do all these things for them. And they feel, yes, it's their right to be pampered. If you are very successful, and your parents were very successful, it's likely that in your old generation somebody was not that successful. So that you have succeeded means for you to sustain the success, life is a baton. You have to be able to hand over the baton successfully to your children. Otherwise, all those things will be filtered away. Today, we see all over the world children disposing of easily the assets their parents have worked for so long, cheaply.